What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Thomas Take Sports Podcast. I'm your host, Ryan Thomas, bringing you another edition of the Thomas Take, the latest edition. Today is April 25th, and if you have not checked out my latest edition of the show, you can check it out on SoundCloud, on BSN 716 Radio. Follow them, download the app. Also, you can check it out on the Spreaker channel, the Thomas Take Sports Podcast. Also on YouTube, as this one is broadcasting live on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. So thank you all for joining me. Very excited to get off to another episode of the Thomas Take Sports Podcast as we get closer and closer to the 2017 NFL Draft. Counting down the days, Thursday, April 27th. Barring a trade, the Buffalo Bills will pick 10th overall. And right in front of me, I have my latest mock draft that will instill the best case scenario. Let me repeat that, the best case scenario for the Buffalo Bills in the 2017 NFL Draft. This is the player that I feel is the best fit for this team based on what they need, based on the way the board falls to them at this pick. So first overall, I'd like to get off, with the first pick, the Cleveland Browns selecting Myles Jarrett, I always say Jarrett, whatever. Texas A&M, the standout defensive end. And then you have the San Francisco 49ers. I think this pick is going to definitely be moved. We're going to see a few teams try to trade up and snatch this pick from the Niners. It's on the trade block. So I'm anticipating that this pick will get moved. But for the sake of the mock draft, we'll just assume that it will not. And Solomon Thomas will be the pick from the University of Stanford. So two of the top pass rushers gone off the board. The Chicago Bears taking Jamal Adams, third overall, solidifying that defense, that back end of the defense, with the best pure safety, one of the best defensive players to come out in quite some time at any position. Jonathan Allen, the shoulder injuries, I think it's a little bit blown out of proportion. I would assume that Jonathan Allen will be there at fourth overall for Jacksonville to take, to add on to an even better, to make the defense even better than what it already is. The Tennessee Titans really going off the grid here, ignoring their team needs, linebacker, wide receiver, and corner, going with the best player available. And at this point, in terms of building weapons around Marcus Mariota, I can't think of one better pass catcher than O.J. Howard. Sixth overall would be Leonard Fournette. I've had him locked in there since March, so I'm going to leave him there. The Chargers going after Malik Hooker. They got Joey Bosa, Melvin Ingram. Malik Hooker adds to that defense. That Chargers defense in L.A. now is looking to be even better. Carolina, I've had taking a running back. It looks like it's a 100% certainty that they're going to go running back unless a defensive player like a Jonathan Allen falls from 4 to 8. It could really be the only situation that I see Carolina going on the defensive side of the ball, or if Malik Hooker is there. Christian McCaffrey, I see him going 8th overall. 9th overall, the Cincinnati Bengals take Derek Barnett. Reuben Foster was linked to the Bengals for quite some time, but now that Foster has had his fair share of screw-ups, I'm going to go with Derek Barnett. And last but not least, 10th overall, to the Buffalo Bills select Marshawn Lattimore. This is the best case scenario for me as a Bills fan, because Marshawn Lattimore is by far the best corner in this draft, bar none. And obviously, that's why he's the first one off the board. Corners do not usually go lower than 10th. And in actuality, the Buffalo Bills in years past have taken Stephon Gilmore and Leotis McKelvin, respectively, 10th and 12th in the past few years' drafts. So biggest knock on Lattimore is the fact that he has had hamstring injuries, but when you watch him on tape, 6 feet tall, 193, 4.36 40, 38.5 inch vertical. So he was hamstrung by hamstring injuries, and that did lead him to miss his freshman year. But boy does he step up, and boy did he show that he was a real, true athlete at this position. And really, as a redshirt sophomore in 2016, he won the starting job, made the plays on the field that the coaches had hoped he would, was the first team All-Big Ten pick, had 4 interceptions, 9 pass breakups in his first full year with the team. Strengths is that he's an uber athlete, parks under receiver's chin at line of scrimmage, uses disruptive inside hands to slow the release and can punch out of his pedal, patient from his press, utilizing that well-timed opening to match the receiver, plays with explosive hip flip that has jump starts him into top speed when forced to turn and run, balance and footwork, targeted. This is the key with this, and this was written by Lance Zierlein, who I'm a big fan of NFL.com, so all credit goes to Lance here. This isn't my writing, this is Lance's. Targeted 35 times this past season and credited with 14 passes defended, including 4 interceptions. Has burst and instincts to make plays from any coverage asked of him. So you look at this division, obviously you lose Stephon Gilmore to a division rival. You got to replace him at some point. If Marshawn Lattimore is there at 10, the Buffalo Bills would be idiots to not take him at 10th overall. I think he's the best fit, and I know Bills fans that are listening right now are assuming that the Bills will take a wide receiver, that they should take a wide receiver. Hey, guys and gals, there are a lot of good receivers in this draft. They don't have to take Mike Williams. They don't have to take Corey Davis in order to bring in a top-notch wide receiver that makes this team, makes this offense better. There are guys out there like the Juju Smith-Schusters of the world that will be probably taken in the second rounds. I'm drawing a blank here, but a guy that I really like, I think his name is Michigan wide receiver, and I'm really drawing a blank. So I'll think of that a little bit later. But I'm really excited for the possibility that this could happen. That Marshawn Lattimore could be a possibility for the Buffalo Bills. There's a lot of good wide receivers in this year's draft. And I think that, a second-round receiver would not be any less of a downgrade compared to taking Mike Williams or Corey Davis. So, it'll be very interesting to see what happens. But I really like Marshawn Lattimore. He's a guy that I think will pay immediate dividends for the Buffalo Bills, easily a week 1 starter, and I think he's going to prove to be one of the better cornerbacks in the NFL. Sources told NFL.com, pro personnel director for an AFC team was quoted saying, "I've studied the top cornerbacks coming out, and he's the best I've seen. He's so athletic that he can just post up under the receiver's chin and shadow him all over the field. He's tough. He'll be one of the top cornerbacks pretty quickly." I could not agree more. And I think that Lattimore could go as high as 3rd overall to the Chicago Bears. But with this mock draft, this would be the best case scenario for the Buffalo Bills. A guy that I really like. Fans commented on the post here on NFL.com. Carolina Panthers fans want him. The Colts want him. Tennessee Titans could be a fit for him at 5. He could go anywhere in the top 10, and I don't think it would be a reach by any stretch if the Chicago Bears decided to go with him 3rd overall. So with this top 10, with Myles Jarrett, Solomon Thomas, Jamal Adams, Jonathan Allen, O.J. Howard, Leonard Fournette, Malik Hooker, Christian McCaffrey, Derek Barnett, and then obviously the Bills getting their corner of the future, the guy that's going to cover the Jarvis Landrys of the world, the guy that's going to cover the Eric Deckers and the Julian Edelmans and the Danny Amendolas, and now the newly minted receiver on the New England Patriots, Brandon Cooks. Buffalo has to get a guy to cover him. As of now, Ronald Darby and Kayvon Seymour are the 2 guys at corner with the most starting experience. That's a problem heading into the 2017 season. So what do you guys think of the possibility of Marshon Lattimore heading to the Buffalo Bills at 10th overall? I think it's a great pick for this team. I think it allows this team to really grow as far as the defensive side of the ball. Gives everybody a chance to be a team that gives McDermott a chance to put a guy here that is going to help day one. So give me your take on that and so much more. Obviously, Mike Williams is a guy that is linked to the Bills. Corey Davis is a guy that's linked to the Bills. Zay Jones is a wide receiver in the second round as well that I think will be available for the Bills. So they could go in that direction as well. Plenty of options in the second round if they decide not to take a wide receiver, if they decide to go in the direction of a position on the defensive side of the ball. If Marshon Lattimore is available at 10th overall, I do not see how the Bills do not take him. I'm Ryan Thomas. Thanks for tuning into this quick edition of the Thomas Take. The best case scenario for the Buffalo Bills features Marshon Lattimore heading to the team at 10th overall. Take care, guys. Thanks for tuning in.